of Trump on Sunday wasn't a big to-do, and I'm guessing it was, well, actually, I know this. It was kind of a last-minute stop. So Trump's people didn't bring in a lot of glitz and glam. There was a production company there at the Congress Center. The Trump people didn't even bring video with them.
Did they even bring that podium?
No, that was, I'm almost positive, that was Congress Center.
What about the flags behind him? Thinking that was Congress Center, too?
Probably Congress Center.
You want to believe Trump travels with something, but I guess not.
So all he had was the room lights, there's floodlights in there, and then the lights go out, he plays into it, and so on and so forth. So everybody's trying to figure out who turned the lights off. The news hadn't found the people yet, or the person. So yesterday this guy calls up the program. He says, I know the chick that turned off the lights.
And I'm figuring it's somebody definitely against Trump, definitely, if not a Democrat, but somebody that doesn't think Trump should be running for the Republican Party.
Steve thinks it's a big to-do that it was like this big setup of lights, and he could be right. I don't know. I don't think that's the case.
I thought it was a behind-the-scenes thing. Somebody that knew somebody to pull that off.
I think it's pretty simple. There was just a light switch for the most part.
And I don't think that.
That somebody maybe backed into on accident and flipped it off. Who knows?
Like, there's no way to bump into a light switch, man.
So this is what we're being told. The young lady on the phone is the one that turned the lights out on Trump. Your name is Veronica. Is that your real name or is that a fake name?
That is my real name.
All right, you live here in Atlanta, and you are the girl that turned the lights out on Donald Trump on Sunday, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, first off,
that's awesome.
Why did you do it?
Well, I heard that reptilians prefer low lighting, so I wanted to show them some Southern hospitality and make them feel at home.
So you are right. She is an anti-Trump girl.
There you go.
Okay, so you're not a Donald Trump fan, correct?
Of course not.
Okay.
All right.
You buy into that whole reptilian thing? Are you joking, or you really do buy into that?
I'm just joking.
Okay.
You know, I wouldn't want to insult reptiles by comparing them to Donald Trump.
Wow, you really hate the guy. Why do you hate the guy so much? You don't find him entertaining?
Well, firstly, one of my uncles was a prisoner of war in Vietnam, and so I found it really distasteful, the things that he had to say about prisoners of war.
Okay.
And I also have friends that are immigrants, and there's also a really swell diner downtown that's run by Muslims, so I really don't like a lot of the things he said about different groups in America.
And I get that. I know that he's upset some people with saying those kind of things, and I think that you brought up some very good points. So you dislike him enough when you came there, and you're watching him, and like Bailey said, it's a last-second stop. There's not a whole lot going on. There was no expense. Nobody's checking IDs or anything. I don't even know if there was a security check. It's a free...
Oh, yeah, there was.
There was?
There's definitely security. There's Secret Service there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
he's got Secret Service detail. Yeah.
He does. So he's got a detail. So you see these guys in suits. He's got a Secret Service detail. Did you go there with the sole purpose to disrupt it, either verbally or to pull a stunt?
They did have something in mind, but I hadn't made up my mind until the last second. I guess, the opportunity to do it, and I took it.
What were some of your other ideas?
Yeah.
Well, they were all pretty lame. They didn't pan out, but
Well, what were they? Give me at least one other one that you were planning on doing.
Well, the signs they gave were like really heavy cardstock, and I thought, man, I could make a really bitchin' paper airplane out of this, and probably sail that towards them.
All right, so we're talking with Veronica here in Atlanta. She is the person that turned the lights out on Donald Trump. Everybody's trying to find out who turned the lights out on Donald Trump. Well, it's the young lady on the phone with us right now. So how did you do it? How did you get to the lights? Was it a light switch? Was it a little thing on a board and a soundboard, or how did you do it?
It was on a soundboard. I was over on the far left side of the stage, and I was right on the barricade. And the sound man was kind of a dick. There were some disabled people around that said they were having problems standing and they weren't providing chairs. And they asked them, could you please, give us some chairs? And they wouldn't let anybody have chairs. So anyway, the sound man kept leaving for, several minutes at a time and leaving it completely unmanned. And so, like I said, I had this kind of rigid sign, and I folded the end of it over and just raked the sliders all down to zero when he left.
Oh, so you didn't know what was going to happen, whether it was going to be microphones, lights. You had no idea.
I thought it was going to be a microphone. I thought I was going to cut the sound. And so as soon as I did it, I hightailed it out of there. And then I heard Donald going on about, what happened to the lights? And then I realized that I'd actually cut the lights.
Mm-hmm. Now, what happened afterwards? As you're hightailing out of the Congress Center, you've now turned the lights out on Donald Trump. And he's making a big to-do out of it. Were you stopped? Did anybody pull you aside, take you in a back room?
Well, I walked out and I kind of kept an eye over my shoulder, and I didn't see anyone following me. I made it up a couple of escalators, and I didn't see, any commotion, so I thought I had made it home free, and made it to the front, and I noticed Secret Service people stopping other ladies that were about my age, and one of them looks at me and kind of, mumbles into his radio. He's like, "Is this her?" And then I hear, "Are you sure?" And then they stop me and they tell me, stand to the side, and a couple that look like real-life Mulder and Scully come over, and they start questioning me, and they detain me for a while.
When you say age, I just want to know how old. Are you middle-aged, young?
I'm 37.
All right, 37. So you were described. You got to love Secret Service, man. They let her walk out thinking everything's cool, but yet they're on top of it.
What kind of questions do they ask you?
Really vague stuff, just like, why did you do what you did? They weren't being very specific.
It's a good question.
Did they threaten to press charges?
They did not. They didn't handcuff me or anything. So after a while, I said, "Am I being charged with anything?" And they said, "No." And then I said, "Well, can I leave?" And they said, "Well, actually, you can't leave because you're under the jurisdiction of the Georgia Congress Center Police."
What does that
They
mean?
handed me over to them.
Oh, because they're the ones that, how you see these different police departments, like Georgia State has a police department, the World Congress Center has their own little security police force. I know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're basically saying, we protect Trump. Now that you've done this, we don't have a problem. There's no threat to our guy, but the World Congress Center has a problem with it.
Because you messed with their stuff.
You're damn right.
Okay, so what did the Congress Center police say to you?
They kind of, they were actually pretty nice to me. They said that, there were a bunch of charges they could throw at me, but in the end they were just going to slap me with a warning of criminal trespass, meaning that I couldn't return for 3 years to any of their properties or I'd be immediately arrested.
Does that bother you?
Actually, the only part of it, they banned me from Centennial Olympic Park, and I really like that park, so that was the only part that bothered me, but it was worth it.
So they've got your picture. So you cannot walk. You can't even go run through the fountain on a hot day for 3 years.
No.
You can't be anywhere, any concert or anything.
No.
What happens if you do? What happens if you get caught?
They said arrested.
They said, immediately arrested.
Immediately.
All right, so finishing up, this is Veronica here in Atlanta. She's the young lady that turned the lights out on Trump on Sunday. So did you get a feeling of gratification after it was done? Did you mission accomplished? Did you walk out of there feeling like you did something for your friends and all these people that you're sticking up for? Was it worth it?
Well, I did feel like I fought the power.
There you go.
Oh, so you walk away with your head up high and you made your point?
Did you get that? I fought the power.
Yeah, I get it. I'm all for, like, if you got something to say, you say it. I don't know if I'm a big fan, and I'm not trying to start an argument with you, but I don't know if I'm a big fan of interrupting someone's speech, even if you don't agree with it. I think that if you have something to say, you kind of stand on your own podium and say it and counter what they're saying. But if you weren't on this show right now, and I mean anybody else that follows up, which they probably will, your voice wasn't heard by just turning the lights off. You didn't really get.
I know.
You didn't get.
It was just a bit of mischief.
It was a little.
Like you said, it was mischief. That's exactly what it was.
It wasn't a very well thought out strategy to get your point across. It kind of came to me. It comes across as a little immature and not thought out. It's like, okay, I turned the lights out. Okay, so we hunt you down. You were going to go back into hiding, so you never got to say what you said to us in your anti-Trump statements. And trust me, I'm the last person that's going to stick up for Donald Trump. Steve, on the other hand, would. But if I want to make my point, I want people to know who I am and what I'm saying. Turning the lights out on the guy, because he has followers. You just kind of, you look like the low person on the totem pole by doing stuff like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, but like you said, I think you're agreeing it was just mischief, that you knew that you didn't get a point across to Trump. You just tripped him up for a second.
Yeah.
So next time you're going to do that, you got to make yourself known. You got to let people know who Veronica is and why you're doing it.
What, like a megaphone screaming at him or something?
Well, you talk about your Muslim buddies that have the deli, your immigrant friends, or whatever the case may be, but you stand on your own podium and make your point. you don't have to go in and turn the lights out on some guy because you're not making your point. The only thing it did was bring more attention to his speech in Atlanta.
Right.
Because he rolled with the punches. He handled it really well.
Well, he's going to do that. But I will thank you, Veronica, for calling the program, though, for sure.
No, that was great. That's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I think it's funny. Outside of that, I think it's funny. I do think it's funny. I'm all about the entertainment aspect of it. I think it's pretty ballsy for you to sit.
It is ballsy.
Stand there and then lean over and turn the lights off.
Yeah.
All right, Veronica. Thank you so much for coming on.
All right, thanks for having me on.
All right,
Man, I didn't know World Congress Center, so you can't go to Centennial Park either.
Oh no! They
that whole area, you can't walk through Centennial Park for 3 years.
I got some good friends over there at the Congress Center, and they've got a lot of stroke in this town.
Boom.
And there are places, you're talking about the Dome.
Yeah.
Not Phillips, we're talking about the Dome.
Oh, yeah, true.
You're talking about that stretch there in front of the Congress Center where you got the Taco Mac and whatnot.
This girl just lost her
You
entertainment.
can't go to any concert this summer?
I was about to say any shows, yeah.
You can't go to any of the festivals there at Centennial. You can't go bathe if that's your thing in the fountains. You can't go try to get a hamburger at the place that's never open.
World of Coca-Cola.
Can't go ice skating during Christmas time and get a fantastic hot chocolate.
I love those hot chocolates.
You can't go read the bricks. You can't go play on the play sets. A lot of stuff you can't do.
So sad.
I think I've run out of things you can't do.
So sad.
All right, what do we have for headlines round number 3 there?
We have tickets to see the professional